welcome to episode 1012 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
I'll tell you what, it's been a day.
How so?
So I was out getting groceries this morning. And
as you do.
Yeah, and it, went off with almost without a hitch. And so came back home, and so like the house I live in is pretty big, but it's split into 3 flats, and the flat that we live in is not gigantic. It's old, right? Like the house I live in is actually the house that my grandparents bought back in the 40s. And what they bought is only about half as big as what the actual house is, and then my grandfather built. We don't have a lot to talk about this week, so I'm just going to go into a lot of detail on some things. So my grandfather built like the second half of the house, right? So this, you can't really see, but the wall that's behind me used to be the outside wall of the house. Now it's sort of the midpoint of the house, and like all the bedrooms and hallways and everything are back there. So all that is to say that I don't have a lot of room for big appliances, right? Like I do have a full kitchen, but so the washer dryer is the thing that I don't have a real space for inside the house. So it's actually out in my porch, which is right out there. The porch is not very big, so it's a stackable washer and dryer.
Okay.
So anyway, I get home, call my kids out to help me bring the groceries in, and my son is like, I think the washing machine is leaking. He was doing a wash, and boy, was it ever.
Never a good sign.
It was like a lake in my porch.
Oh.
Like I opened the door and there was a good inch of water. And like the thing is that it's a porch. Cool. So, you store things, you store shoes on the floor, and nothing's up off the floor in my porch.
It's right now. This porch, is it outside? Like I'm thinking that
kind of. It's not an outdoor. Like it's covered. It's a room. It's like got heat and everything like that, and plumbing and all that sort of thing. But it's a porch, right? It's attached to the side of the house, basically. So
are you sure you're using that word correctly?
Not at all. But it's the way we've always called it.
You refer to it as the porch.
What would you call something like that?
Like a utility closet, or
no? It's not a closet though. It's like
but it's surrounded by walls.
Yeah. And a roof.
And there's no window to the outside.
There is a window. Yes.
There's a window, but there's not like you couldn't use it as an exit to your home.
It is an exit to my home.
I mean, you don't regularly use it as an exit.
I regularly use it as the exit.
You do? Okay.
So all these things you're saying it's not, I'm telling you
an entryway or like
it's an entryway.
It's an entryway.
It's a small room. It's a small room.
It's not a porch.
Okay. Anyway, not really the point. So anyway, the point being that it wasn't
service porch. Scoop Jessica's a service porch.
Whatever. Anyway, the point is that, some stuff was stored in there.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to tear it all out. And it's such a small room. And we have a shelving unit back there to hold winter gloves and hats and everything like that. And I had to pull that. I had to try to pull that out because I couldn't get to the back of the machine. I thought maybe it was an alarming amount of water, right?
Okay.
And so I had to drag this thing out so I could finally get in behind the damn washing machine. And what I figured out had happened was the drain hose. So the back of a washing machine, you have the 2 hoses for the input, and then there's a drain hose that you generally, it's really weird when you install something like this. It feels like that part is unfinished. Always. Anyway, it had come loose. It had come out of its receptacle. So it was literally, the washing machine was literally just draining water onto the floor.
Oh.
So yeah.
It's no good.
So anyway, it's pretty waterlogged.
You got to shop back to.
This has been happening but it's pretty much dried out now. Well, it's damp in there, but it's the standing water is gone. But it became clear when I moved the shelf that this has been happening for a little while.
Oh,
so there's a little bit of mold on the wall. And,
no!
So it's just.
Yeah,
that's
not good.
So that was wasn't the only thing that happened today, but it kind of colored the entire day.
It's the joys of home ownership.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now my son is like, well, we got to tear the floor up. And I was like, you know what? Let's wait. Let's see. I don't want to if I don't have to. So, I mean, clearly you have to replace the baseboard and really clean the place thoroughly. But
yeah,
I'd rather not tear up the floor.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was awesome. So anyway, the drainage hose is re-secured to the wall. Hopefully a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes.
Okay. I was gonna say, can you still do laundry or
I mean, we did another load tonight after I re-secured everything. My daughter needed to do some clothes and she's like, so should I do I was like, yeah, what the hell? I mean, we got to figure out if it works. So it's at first I thought it was when I first looked behind it, I didn't see anything obvious. And it's like the goddamn thing is leaked. It's like 6 months old. Like we bought this at the end of last year. And I'm like, if this thing is broken, I am going to lose my mind. So, but no, it just appears that it was user error more than anything else. But you know what? The lint trap was clean in the dryer. I am going to say that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because that's important,
as it should be. Yes.
Yes, my back, I don't know, service porch was flooded, but I didn't have to worry about it bursting into flames. So there's that.
That's good, I guess.
It is good. That's our show for this week.
Yep, we're done. Nothing more to talk about. Let's talk about some video game news before we get out of here.
Before we wrap it up.
Right. Hey, there's a new Neo Geo thing. You hear about this? You see this?
I heard about this. I saw this.
So yeah, the PlayOn, the company, is releasing a Neo Geo that is basically the real hardware. And games too.
Not an emulator, not FPGA. It's an actual Neo Geo.
Yeah, they're doing the games, or they're doing 10 games, and the console, as well as like a special edition thing as well.
Yeah, like the all white wireless controller.
All white, yeah, wireless controller. The 10 games that they're releasing include Metal Slug, King of Fighters 2002, Garo, Mark of the Wolves, Big Tournament Golf, which is Neo Turf Masters retitled.
Why did they retitle it?
I think there's some copyright or trademark thing. Shock Troopers, Samurai Showdown 5 Special, Pulse Star, Twinkle Star Sprites, Magician Lord, and Over Top. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, and where this is apparently actual hardware, I assume old Neo Geo games will play in this thing.
Correct. Yeah.
And also flash cart. Because there is a flash cart for the Neo Geo.
I suppose so.
That'll play soon. So that's all pretty cool.
New controllers, a new memory card, like a new gamepad as well. So I think we were talking a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, about like the Neo Geo. We never owned a Neo Geo because it was such an expensive piece of hardware back in the day when it was offered. I mean, it's still expensive. It's going to be $600 or something like that. What is
with the games? I think
no,
just the system itself.
So the system itself, is going to be $249.99.
I thought it was $250.
Yeah, $250, and then the cartridges are about $70-$80 a piece, and then they are doing like a special edition that comes with the 10 games.
Yes.
All together, right? So,
and isn't it like there's a set that comes with like a case for all the games and everything like that? Yeah.
Yes.
The ultimate set,
it's $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look at that. Look at that set.
Oh, I mean, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. So I'm assuming those. I wonder. I didn't look to see, but I wonder if those are like the proper like clamshell
Yeah, they're
cases
the
and.
proper clamshell cases and everything. And the $1,000 thing comes with, an arcade stick and also like some of the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It comes with the console, arcade stick wired, arcade stick wireless, a gamepad wireless, 10 Neo Geo games, a game rack, which I assume is the box, the wireless dongle for the gamepad and arcade stick, an arcade stick cable, a USB-C charge cable, gamepad USB-C card charge cable, HDMI cable, and a power supply. So everything you need to have the arcade at home.
It's really cool that it's being made.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's when you consider how expensive this thing was, I'm guessing that's a pretty fair price. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how much all these components actually cost.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of consoles that are FPGA and like the analog stuff,
which all tend to work pretty well.
Which all work quite well. But not very many of these where it's like we're releasing the original console and old games work on it. And
well, no, I mean, yes, we have. Like,
have we?
All of analog stuff is like that.
But that's FPGA, right?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still talking about FPGA there.
No, sorry. I'm talking about original hardware. Like we're re-releasing the original hardware.
Original hardware, yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the expense is, because I can't imagine the components that make up this thing are all that expensive anymore. But maybe they're expensive because they're not common anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know enough about this.
I don't know.
I was originally really excited about this.
What changed? And when you say you were really excited about it, does that mean you were close to pressing the buy now button at any point?
I was very close to really, really wanting to press the buy now button.
Oh,
trying to figure out if I could afford something like this. But
yeah,
the main thing that gave me pause initially is Neo Geo games are great.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're because they're, arcade games.
Yeah.
And early Neo Geo games were interesting, but they weren't like, I don't know how to put it. They felt like arcade games. I felt like almost everything I ever played on it. The draw of the Neo Geo was that you're playing the arcade at home. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But the downside was that you were playing the arcade at home as well, because
except you didn't have to put quarters or tokens in,
right?
So
but the games still weren't as
continues.
The games generally didn't seem to be as robust or as intricate as what we were getting on, say, the Super Nintendo or the Genesis at the time.
Surely not, because they had to be played in an arcade context first.
Exactly. So like I got to play the system back in the day by renting it and everything, and I was chatting with the buddy yesterday about this too, and he was saying the same thing. It's like, the store that he worked at was where you could rent one of these from, and he's like, I would take it home and this is really cool, and then like an hour later I was done with it.
Right.
Like it didn't found the games, especially the early games, didn't necessarily hold your interest. Now, that is not to say there weren't some amazing games like the Baseball Stars 2, Baseball 2020. Like there are some incredible games on that system. And of course you get into the Metal Slugs. And when they started getting into fighting games in particular, like there was a major shift there where SNK went from doing stuff like Magician Lord and Blues Journey and all that sort of thing. And it was just doing like Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting and King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown. And, and it sort of became nothing but a fighting system. And like Viewpoint was there and everything. So there was some good stuff, but that was the first thing that gave me pause. Yeah. Where it's too bad
that's not part of this.
Yeah.
Collection.
Where it's like, for the most part, I don't know how much time I would give it.
Yeah.
Especially where Neo Geo emulation is pretty good. So
we have arcade archives as well.
Exactly. Now, if I was someone who had a Neo Geo cartridge collection, that would be maybe a little bit different. It'd be nice to have brand spanking new hardware.
Absolutely.
To play that stuff on, for sure. And
a
then,
new arcade stick.
And I'm sure we don't want to talk about this too much, but then it really stopped and thought about, SNK.
Yes.
And who owns SNK?
Where that money goes.
And where that money goes. And I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say if they, I don't know, released a new Saturn, I wouldn't think about it. You know what I mean? If it was a system I really, really, really had massive nostalgia for, I could probably overcome my morals.
Would that be the Saturn for you?
No, I don't know what it would be.
If Sega...
I have trouble thinking of what it would be, but...
Or Dreamcast, maybe?
I don't love the Dreamcast as much as everyone else does. The Dreamcast was good.
But really?
Yeah, Dreamcast was really good, but I prefer the Genesis and the Saturn both over that system.
Okay.
So...
All right.
Anyway, yeah. So it don't get me wrong. It's very cool that it's happening. I'm sure if I was like a Neo Geo, like crazy about the Neo Geo, I would be way more excited about it. But like I said, the longer I had to think about it, the more I was like, nah, I'm not spending that money on that. I'm not going to try to find the money to spend on this.
There you go.
So yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I've enjoyed the mini consoles,
Yeah, now if it was a mini console, that might be different. If it was in a mini console price.
Yeah. Did they do a mini console for the Neo Geo? I feel
they did something called the Neo Geo X ages ago.
Yeah.
But it was like mired in controversy, and I don't remember why. I just remember it went on sale very briefly. And so the Neo Geo X was a portable Neo Geo, but it came with a shell that you could put the portable system in the shell that made it look like an original Neo Geo.
Oh, okay.
And it came with, I don't know how authentic it was, but it came with a Neo Geo arcade stick as well. That felt pretty authentic as far as I could tell. But it was, if I remember correctly, it was taken off the market really fast. The whole thing was that games were actually released on SD cards, and the first game was actually a compilation SD card, and it came in a authentic looking Neo Geo game clamshell case as well. And I ended up buying one. And actually, again, that's another reason why I had pause immediately. I bought this thing back in the day. I've probably played it a grand total of 5 times.
You know
bought
what I mean? It?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was super excited for it. And it wasn't, I don't remember it being very expensive. Or I had more money back then. Probably a little of both. But
got it.
Either way. So again, speaking from experience, I was super excited about the idea of it, and then never really played it. And then they did. You're right. They did the Neo Geo
Mini.
I think they made it. I've actually got that too, and I've played that 2 or 3 times.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't remember the emulation being really great on either of those either. I think was another problem. Anyway.
I was never really like a huge fighting game fan outside of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I just never really. I mean, Samurai Showdown, I played a bunch on the 3DO because the
3DO version was great.
It was a good port of Samurai Showdown.
I loved King of Fighters for a few years there, but it was via the Saturn, because King of Fighters 95 was, I don't know if it was the first Saturn game that used the expansion cartridge. But it was the first one I ever played. So King of Fighters, I think it was 95 on the Saturn. When you bought it, it came with, and it was actually a ROM cartridge. It wasn't RAM at that point. So a lot of the data was actually stored right in the cartridge. So you use the cartridge slot on the Saturn, and it was fantastic. And then they did 96, 97, 98. I think they went up to 98 on the Saturn. And I think I bought all of them. And my friends and I, that was when we were all really into fighting games, and we were buying those and playing a lot of them. And they were really good. I mean, the King of Fighters games were excellent. So I was heavy into them, but I'm not heavy into fighting games anymore. It's the same thing. I pick up a fighting game that I used to love, and I'll play it for 10 minutes. And that's all I need of it. And
that's all you need of it.
Oh. Yeah. But the King of Fighters games Neo Geo fighting games were, once they got really refined, they were excellent.
Yeah. Is Viewpoint on Arcade Archives?
I don't know.
because Viewpoint was always a game that I wanted to play, but I don't think I ever played any of it, even like the home ports or anything.
I have played some of it. I think it was more beloved for how it looked than anything else.
Okay, yeah, because it looked like Zaxxon.
It did look like Zaxxon on steroids.
Three-quarter perspective. Yeah, cool. Well, that's the news. That's it.
That's all that happened this week.
All that happened. I mean, there was an Animal Crossing 25th anniversary item that you can get in your Animal Crossing New Horizons game.
Okay.
Yeah, because the series is 25 years old. Released on the N64.
Wow.
Late N64 release, right? And then they ported it to the GameCube.
GameCube, yep.
Which is where I played it for the first time.
A few months of my life, yep.
Yeah, really enjoyed the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you can get a little leaf statue for your town if you want it.
Cool.
But that's it. That's the news. Nothing really happened this past week. So I guess we're going into what you've been playing. And I'll tell you what I've been playing.
Okay.
Pragmata.
I tried the demo.
You tried the demo. What did you think of the demo?
It was nice, but not enough that I wanted to buy the full game.
Not enough. You wanted to buy the full game. Well, let me ask you a question.
But I get it. Let me
ask you a question.
All right. You asked me, you know what? I'm here. You asked me a question.
You liked Dead Space, right?
I did.
You enjoyed Dead Space. You like The Legend of Zelda, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Castlevania?
I love Castlevania.
What if there was a game that combined all three of those into one?
I'm going to go ahead and stop you right there. Because like two of the games you just quoted are comprised of like dozens of titles.
Oh, that's true.
So
very true.
I mean, I don't. Okay, explain that to me, because what you just said doesn't jive with what you played in the demo.
Yeah, so the demo is like the first little area and first boss in Pragmata, and it's sort of showing you the basic gameplay, but it doesn't like get to the point where you're really seeing the scope of the world that they built on the moon. This game is entirely set on the moon.
That's where that wizard came from.
I hear that. Yeah.
No.
In the original Destiny,
that
wizard came from the moon. But in actual fact, like as soon as you get past that part, things open up quite a bit, and it starts to feel almost like a Metroid-esque or a Metroidvania style thing where you're going to these areas. The game does this a lot, where it like shows you a room that has a nice shiny power up or like an item that you're going to want, but there's a wall. You can't get there. You can see it through the window. That's all you got. And you have to eventually you'll have the power to unlock that, or you have to come back after you have gained the ability to like clear an area to get there. But things start to be much more interconnected than the demo lets on, and there's a lot of fun secret stuff in this game too, like secret rooms that have power-ups. There's also like rooms that are very combat focused, and you have to have like a key card to get in there, and it's like, this is going to be difficult. Like, you have to use your key card. Do you want to you have one key card or two key cards? Do you want to use one and go into this room where there's a lot of enemies, but there'll be like a good reward if you're able to vanquish them all? And the combat in this game is really interesting too. Like, there's third person shooting, but there are two main characters in this game, Hugh Williams, who was an astronaut sent to the moon because the station there has stopped responding to communications. And then Diana, who is this Pragmata, she's an android who Hugh Williams runs into once his crew gets decimated after a moonquake. They all get sucked out the airlock, and he's left there by himself. And then he meets
I've actually seen that scene.
You've seen that scene, okay?
Yeah.
So you use Diana to hack into the robot enemies. So when you aim down sights with the L2 trigger, it brings up a little like mini game sort of window on the upper right, where you use the face buttons of the controller you're using to like navigate around it. And it's a little like sort of sliding puzzle thing where you need to, what?
I said,
Where you need to like connect to the end point, and then you can like hack them and start to do damage with your guns. But this game is really good, and it reminds me a ton of Dead Space. It reminds me a ton of a Metroid game due to the backtracking and things.
A good Metroid game, or
a good Metroid game? Metroid and 4. Actually, this really, as I was playing, I was like, this really sort of shines a light on just how bad Metroid Prime 4 is in terms of just wasting your time, like with empty rooms and things. Not to say that there aren't empty rooms in this, because there are, but there's always something to pick up in like the next room. There's always like new collectibles that you're unlocking, new weapons that you're unlocking, new abilities you're unlocking. And you go back to this place called the Shelter in between areas, and there's quite a lot of opportunity to go back to the Shelter. Like it usually gives you a little transporter, a way to get back to the Shelter, like right before a boss, or like right after you've collected a bunch of like things that'll increase your stats or improve your weapons, which is really nice. It's sort of a nice checkpoint. And then there's a lot of stuff to do in the Shelter as well. You unlock like pieces of lore, you unlock new outfits.
You love pieces of lore.
I'm actually reading the pieces of lore in this game too, which is
okay. So
again,
PJ likes this game.
Again, very odd. I never read lore, as you know. And
I do.
Yeah. And there's also, Diana is this sort of android who, let me fast forward here a little bit, who looks like a 7-year-old girl thereabout. But she's an android and she's never been to Earth. She began life on the moon. And so you unlock these sort of Earth memories, little things that you can then unlock in the Shelter, things like a slide or a CRT television with, programs to watch, or an RC car or a basketball hoop, things like that. And then you can talk to her while you're in the Shelter, and she enjoys the hell out of those things. And she'll ask you about Earth too. She'll ask you about Earth things and the relationships you had on Earth and your family and things like that.
So it's a dad game too, right?
It's also a dad game. Yeah, it's a dad game. Although, so the main character Hugh does not have any children on Earth, and so he sort of is adopting Diana as well. Without Diana, he wouldn't be able to do any damage to the AI robots that are on the moon. So he needs her for sure.
Okay. But the whole point of the game is you learn that she needs him as well.
I'm sure that does. Yes.
Yeah.
She wants, at a certain point, she decides she wants to go to Earth.
Okay.
And he was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get out of here together. So, yeah.
All right.
And there are other characters mixed in as well. I just met another Pragmata girl who is also stuck there, and I have not freed her yet, but I'm on the way to doing so. But yeah, this game, I mean, if you enjoyed Dead Space, I know you did,
I enjoyed Dead Space
you like
a lot.
Zelda games or Metroid games, I mean, I think you would just really enjoy this a whole lot. And there's huge bosses. So there's like crazy big bosses. Oh, Diana also in the shelter gives you drawings that she has made. As you talk to her and as you unlock things for her to play with, she like gives you drawings.
Yeah, it's a dad game.
It's totally a dad game. Here's the CRT television in the walkthrough, and she sort of sits there and watches it and makes comments and things, and it's all very cute. Yeah. But there's a lot of platforming, like running and jumping, and the combat feels really great. The hacking mini game that comes up is really fun. They keep adding little twists onto it. As you level up the shelter, it unlocks new things like a training area, which is sort of like a VR missions style thing where it gives you like certain things that certain scenarios that you have to do with different weapons. And sometimes it's a platforming challenge and you get, upgrade points for doing all of that stuff. So you can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your mods. So you can unlock abilities that you can assign to a mod loadout that impacts, how much damage you do on the enemies or how much health you have. If you're able to like quickly dodge, like out of the way of an attack, like it gives you special buffs, things like that.
Okay.
It's a really, really impressive game. And
I mean, it's getting a lot of praise.
I gotta say,
the demo is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, the demo is what convinced me to get the game.
Yeah.
But I'm so much more impressed with the full game than just what was in the demo. And part of it is just because and I'm playing it on casual difficulty, of course, but some of the combat scenarios, and of course, it's really just a monster closet kind of deal where you go into a room and a bunch of enemies pop up, and
that was clear in the demo as well.
Yeah, I mean it is that, but after you unlock so many different powers and so many different weapons, like you get this feel of just being a badass.
Nice.
Like it has a really good game feel. The control's great as well.
Good mouthfeel.
Yeah. No, it's a really, really polished game. And I went back and I looked at the original trailer for this game. This game was originally supposed to come out in 2022.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And the original trailer is a little bit rough. Like the characters don't quite look like themselves. And what
was the holdup? Because every time I see this game written about, I see it framed that way. Like, we kept at it and we overcame and it finally came out. And like, I mean, I wasn't following why.
I'm curious why. Yeah. I'm very curious why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't feel like this game just it feels like a very tight experience. Like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of filler here. Like they just didn't know what to do with the game. Like it feels like at some point they have to have decided on a direction and just gone full bore with that. But the amount of polish and the amount of time spent just on how everything works, and I'm to the point now where I go into rooms and there can be a little tower that jams Diana's hacking signal, so I have to deal with that first and then start on the enemies. So you have to do a little bit of dodging first before you can really get into the combat. There are buffs where some weapons you can use to like decrease the size of the hacking matrix. So like the little puzzle that you have to do, you can see like in this footage that some of them are quite big. And there's a weapon, sticky bombs, that when you hit an enemy with a sticky bomb, the grid for hacking gets smaller. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That thing, the icon that was just on the screen looked like an old floppy disk.
It did look like an old floppy disk. And you know what happens? So those little chips, in this one, you use those chips to 3D print tree branches to get to a new area. But like a lot of those some of the upgrades for Diana, you get these little mod chips, and she like puts them in her mouth, and like her eyes go all crazy, and it's like her mouth is a disk drive as well.
She's a Mac.
She's a Mac, yeah. But yeah, this game is just so good. I am really, really enjoying it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think you should play it because I think you would really, really enjoy it.
I came close because like I said, I liked the demo. Yeah. But it didn't. I didn't come away from the demo thinking, "Oh my god, I have to play this now." Yeah. But I mean, we were kind of in a little bit of a dead zone as far as games that I was interested in is concerned. So it came really close. But then there was another game that I saw a review for that I'm going to talk about a little bit later that I'm playing right now that definitely drew my attention a little bit more than this. So I actually ended up going with that. So.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk about that in my what you've been playing.
I see. It's
a little bit of a, keep the listeners around. It's like, I got to stick around and see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you read the show description. But anyway.
Absolutely huge bosses like this one right here.
It's a big boss.
So the people on the moon 3D printed a replica of New York's Times Square. And so you fight a boss in the middle of all of that.
Fantastic.
And this is one of those interconnected areas where there's like maybe 3 or 4 sub areas to this, and everything's connected by this Times Square replica. And
that's bizarre.
It's super cool though. It's very cool. Yeah. I mean, the whole game is just stunning, just really, really stunning, just like really good. I bought the deluxe edition, which means I also have extra costumes for Hugh and for Diana. So I played some dress up with Hugh and Diana, and that was fun too. So I got little cat ears as Hugh. You get a spaceship or like a spacesuit that has cat ears. Otherwise, all of the uniforms for Hugh look like Isaac from Dead Space.
I was going to say.
It's basically the same armor. Or, God, what was the name of that game that came out that was like Dead Space from...
oh, God.
The Crafton made? I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that the other day. But yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Why can't I remember the name of that game? Hold on. Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game too. That wasn't quite Dead Space, but
we just need Dead Space. Just need more Dead Space.
We do need more Dead Space.
This is the Dead Space 2 remake.
This is as good as close as you're going to get to a Dead Space right here.
Yeah,
in Pragmata.
You say so.
I do say so.
I heard you.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really great game. I think this is maybe the start of a new franchise for Capcom. Like, yeah, I could see this doing very, very, very well. I bought it on PS5. I didn't go with the Switch version. And it runs very, very well I've been switching between playing on the TV and playing on the PlayStation Portal.
Okay.
And just having a blast with it. Yeah. You know, like Ratchet and Clank has all those weapons, all those fun, like,
yeah,
abilities and weapons. That's what this also brings. It's like Dead Space, but if it had that too.
So it's Dead Space meets Zelda meets Metroid meets Ratchet and
Clank. Yeah.
So basically, it's just a little bit of every game you like.
It's a little bit of every game that I like.
Are there pirates in it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But I'm not ruling that out either. You never know. Maybe. I mean, they were 3D printing a lot of stuff on the moon. I mean, if they can do Times Square, certainly they can do a pirate world, right?
Okay.
That's my thought. Speaking of pirate games,
you know what? I knew you were going to do this. That was me trying to give you an option to transition.
Yeah, I also played Windrose, which is a new game that came out on Steam, early access, last week came out in early access. And our good friend Mike messaged me, is like, are you aware of this game called Windrose? And I was, of course. And he said, well, there's some of our Sea of Thieves friends are playing it, and maybe we should play it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I bought Windrose on Steam and started playing it via GeForce Now, because my computer cannot run it very well.
All right.
And it's very choppy on the Steam Deck. So yeah. But this is a piratey survival game. And of course, the intro takes place on a pirate ship that is under attack, and it's, burning up. And so that was a little bit of piratey appetizer. And then you crash land, you're shipwrecked on an island, and you have to rebuild everything from scratch.
Sounds like one of those mobile games you see advertised all the time.
I suppose that's true. It's like one of those survival games, like where you have to craft and build. And honestly, I hate crafting and building.
Okay.
That is my hell.
So I went to, I was waiting for you to talk about this game, because went over and hung out with your best friend Mike last night, as I tend to do on Saturday nights. We usually go grab some dinner and just hang out back at his place, a few of us. Yeah. And this game came up.
Yeah, I'm sure that it did.
And we all had a good laugh about the fact that you don't like most of the mechanics in this game.
No, I hate crafting. I absolutely hate. I despise crafting. I hate building anything in a game. Like, if I have to build a shelter, forget it. I really do not like. I have never liked those mechanics.
But it's got but it's got pirates.
It's got pirates.
So yeah, that's enough.
That's enough. Yes. Yeah.
My God, man.
That was enough to get around. Actually, I think that the crafting and building mechanics in this are a little bit more, they don't feel as
crafty
laborious as they are in some games. Like, I just do not like having to craft every little thing, and this has you craft every other little thing, really. Like and so far it's pretty fun. All I've really done is built a hut on the beach and a couple cooking fires and kilns and ovens where I can smelt resources and things like that. But it's quite enjoyable, at least for now. I don't know when the piratey stuff is really going to happen yet. I do have a little ship. I have it's not even a sloop. It's like just a rowboat, really, with a rowboat with a sail. And so I have that, and we'll see how things go from there. I am playing, it's one of those sort of shared world survival games. So I'm playing on Orz's server, Mike's server. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm sure when I log in next, he'll have like half a city built, and I'll be in my little hut.
Cowering
in my hut. Yes. But so far so good. Like, and they've sold them something like 1 million copies so far in under a week. So that's pretty good. Or maybe it's 500,000. It was a big milestone. I know that. So
okay.
Yeah. But it's good. I like it. I like it so far.
It sounds like you like it.
Yeah. I don't like it as much as Pragmata, but it's not Dead Space.
Yeah.
It's merely a pirate game. But then I also played a little bit of Reanimal.
Yeah. So what's this
week? Well, we talked about Reanimal, didn't we? Oh, well, it's from the team that made Little Nightmares 1 and 2.
Right. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, it's a cooperative horror game. And I've been playing it with my daughter, and unfortunately we got stuck. We don't know what to do next. So I'll probably have to like look it up on YouTube to see if we were just missing something. It's one of those games, right, where it lets you do things, but doesn't really lets you do part of the puzzle, but maybe you're missing one element of it and you're not sure.
Oh, so it lets you get like partway through it.
Yeah, the area we're in, we sailed to this area that has like a huge cannon, and you can load shells into the cannon, and you can aim the cannon at what seems to be a big enemy, and you go to like fire the cannon, and it doesn't do anything. And we're both like, what are we supposed to do with this? Like, there's nothing else on the island that we can find, and I'm not sure exactly where we can get in our boat from that point. We wandered around a little bit and then just decided to stop playing for the night. But
all right.
But yeah, I am having quite a bit of fun with this game, especially when one of us, either my daughter or me, does something that gets us both killed, which is regularly.
Sounds
and
successful.
It's usually my fault. Yeah. But
she loves you, so you keep playing.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I really do enjoy the vibes of this game. It's very creepy. We got a little power up for our boat where one player is steering the boat, the other player has a harpoon, which again, pirates love it.
Oh, there you go.
And so there's you can fire your harpoon, you can throw your harpoon at bombs and these little enemies that like swim towards you. It's really freaky. But yeah, having quite a bit of fun with it. I need to get us past the area we're stuck in. But once that happens, we'll keep going.
All right.
That's all I've been playing.
Cool.
That's it. I think you should play Pragmata, Greg.
Yeah, you made that clear.
Phil's playing Pragmata.
Who?
That guy that used to be on the show.
That turncoat?
It's either he's playing the full version of Pragmata or he's been playing the demo over and over again for 3 hours. Because it said he had 3 hours of playtime on PlayStation Network.
I would just turn on the demo and paused it.
Could be.
Yeah, so I had mentioned before, like I played the Pragmata demo and I was pretty close to pulling the trigger on it. I'm going to take a drink of this before it gets completely cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty close to pulling the trigger on it. But then I happened to watch Reviews on the Run. Friend of the show, Victor Lucas's long-running review show that he does now on YouTube. And he covered a game on there called Replaced, which I watched his review and I was like, man, this looks really nice. It's a side-scrolling action puzzle game by a company called Sad Cat Studios, which it's their first game, although it's not the first game of the people who founded the company.
Sure.
I think they all come from mobile game backgrounds. It's a cyberpunk setting, so right off the bat, I'm into it.
Wait, did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
I tried and I could not get into it. I tried twice actually, and I just didn't stick.
Didn't jive with you.
But I mean, still a big fan. It's got real like Akira vibes and
Blade Runner.
Yeah. In fact, they called out Blade Runner 2049 as a major inspiration for their world.
That's a great movie.
Yeah. So my interest was piqued. And Victor gave it a pretty good review, although he did call it that the combat was a little bit rough. Anyway, as I mentioned last week, I've also been playing Flashback on the 3DO on my Twitch and YouTube streams every week, which I'm real close to finishing actually. And so on one of those recordings, he's either posted to the YouTube channel after that, and people actually go back and watch some of them. And some people have been leaving messages, and one of the messages that was left, I forget who it was, but they mentioned like, "Hey, have you checked out Replaced?" They're saying really loved this game, this Flashback game back in the day, and have you checked out Replaced? Because I think you might really like it. So they go, okay, well, I think I need to check this out. So I went to see it. Of course, it's not available on the PlayStation, which is generally where I buy my games. Not available on the Switch too.
Sure.
But I knew it was on Steam. So I was going to go check it on Steam. But as I was checking, the platforms, it's like, oh, it's on Xbox Series X. I wonder if it's on Game Pass. And it is on Game Pass.
Ah, there you go.
So it was a day one game on Game Pass. So I downloaded it and started playing it. And boy, oh boy. If you're watching the video version of the show, you're seeing actually one of the nicest scenes early on in the game. This game has just a beautiful aesthetic. So it's a 2.5D game, which actually, again, I went on there. I went on the Wikipedia page for this game, and one of the it was originally meant to just be a 2D game, but then they decided they wanted to go 2.5D, and they actually called out Disney's Hercules, of all things, on the PlayStation.
Whoa.
Which I love that they did, because I love the Hercules game on the PlayStation. Like, I have a weird affinity for that game. And it was a 2.5D side-scrolling action platformer. So It was really well done. It was done by Eurocom. Anyway, so yeah, but it's just got this really great sort of, I would almost call it like a traditional indie style 2D graphics, but with a 3D, like a sort of a rudimentary, I don't want to say PlayStation level 3D, but like I would say polygon counts would be like PlayStation level, but the texture work is a lot nicer. And it's got like incredible lighting. Like, it just, the world is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The levels are all pretty much in 3D. The characters are all sprites. They're lit really well, and they're lit sort of in real time based on the ambient lighting around them. The music's got a really nice ambient quality, very similar to, I'm way more familiar with the original Blade Runner than 2049. I think I've only ever seen 2049 once. But the original Blade Runner I've seen probably 50 times. And like, it's got a very cool sort of synthy ambient score. And it's really captured in this game as well. Like, that's very much what the music is in this game. So like the whole storyline is that you're playing as basically an AI that gets infused with one of its users at the beginning of the game through an accident. And like, the way this world is set up is you're working in this place called Phoenix City, and it's a walled city. It's in an alternate past. The game takes place in the 80s, actually.
Oh, really?
So it's in an alternate timeline where the U.S. government detonated nuclear bombs on its own soil for some reason in World War II. Or it was after, I think it was in the 60s, actually, where they did that. And so it's created this sort of dystopian world in the 80s here, where sort of the elite live in Phoenix City, and it's a walled city, and those who aren't have become like forced organ donors.
Okay.
And so they're harvested. Their organs are harvested as needed by the people in Phoenix City and by this corporation, the Phoenix Corporation, and then they're thrown out of the city. They're just called disposals. These people are called disposals. And so through a series of events and an accident at the beginning of the game, you as Reach is the AI's name, and the character's name is Warren. They get infused and end up having to escape the city because they're mistaken for a disposal. And so the whole game is like, Reach is very much in control of the character. Like, you're using Warren's body, but your consciousness is Reach. And so a lot of the story is actually told via Reach talking to Warren, although Warren's not really there. He's just using Warren's body. Sure. And so Reach is trying to get back into Phoenix City, but he's out with these disposals, and it's sort of because of his goal. He doesn't quite understand the world around him. I don't think he understands that Phoenix, at least the way it's shown so far in the game, is a very evil corporation, obviously. Like, I don't think Reach comprehends that right away. So it's all about Reach sort of learning about human nature, and also because it's trying to get back into Phoenix City, it kind of falls in with these rebels who are trying to get back into Phoenix City as well, but for very different reasons. And it's so good. It's so good. I'm having so much fun with it. It's got a little bit of, I would say, like inside, in that the goals and sometimes the gameplay tends to change pretty drastically at times.
Okay.
Although it has kind of settled out now, where it's a lot of platforming puzzle, like sort of Prince of Persia flashback style platforming puzzles and that sort of thing. But it still has an inside vibe every now and then. But the combat, the combat is interesting because I guess originally they decided that they thought they weren't going to do a combat system in here, and then again through development, they changed their minds. And I think this is another game that was actually supposed to come out in like 2022 originally. It was shown in 2021 anyway, E3 2021. Yeah, it was originally slated to come out in 22. I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. Anyway, they decided
just like Pragmata.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's anyway, also a buddy game. Instead of Hugh and Diana, it's Warren and Reach.
Although you're just really controlling Warren's body. But what they decided to do is they wanted to do a freeform combat system in the style of like the Arkham games.
Okay.
But in 2D.
Oh.
And it kind of works. It works in that you can have these really sort of cinematic, high enemy number battles. And like I think I've got all the attacks that I can get right now. So when you start out, you just basically you have a gun, but the guns are like they're imprinted. I forget, it was DNA or something like that. Anyway, you need to be a Phoenix Corporation employee to fire the gun, to use the gun at all.
Oh, right. Okay.
But again, Reach doesn't understand. Like Reach defeats a guard early on and picks up his gun, and while he can't fire it, he can still use it because it can also double it as a baton for combat. And so Reach is like, oh well, the sensor must be broken. Right. But clearly you as the player realize like the sensor is not broken. Reach just doesn't understand why, the reason it works is because Warren is a Phoenix employee, right? Like he's part of the Phoenix Corporation. And like the characters around you kind of are like, ooh, this is weird. I don't know why that works. Because you meet a scientist at one point and they're like, yeah, no, this sensor's not broken. I don't understand why you can use this thing. But anyway, so it's mostly hand-to-hand combat. You have a dodge move. Eventually, you get like a pickaxe that you can use as a heavy attack, and that's used to break armor off of armored characters. And then when you do get the ability to fire the weapon after a while, it's like a single charge shot. And the way that it works is like you have to have a successive number of hits, all in a row, and then you charge up a shot, and the shot is pretty much a one-hit kill. For like minor enemies, they'll do massive damage on bosses. And like I've been fighting these things just called termite tanks that are heavily armored. And even after you knock the armor off, they take a ton of hits. But if you build up enough charge for a shot, like one shot will actually finish them off and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm really enjoying it a lot. I do agree with what Victor said in that the freeform combat doesn't work as well in a 2D setting as it did in like the 3D settings of Arkham. But I get what they were going for, and it does work. And if you don't get into button mashing, you have to be really deliberate with your attacks. And if you are really deliberate with your attacks, the combat system works. But if you're not, if you get into button mashing, the battles can get out of control pretty fast.
Okay.
But either way, it's scratching an itch. It's very cinematic. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Darwin's Paradox in a lot of ways too, right? Like it's just this very cinematic sort of 2D side-scrolling action platformer with a lot of puzzles, but with a decent amount of combat thrown in as well. And I can't stop saying how much I love the way the game looks. They really captured that sort of neon drenched urban decay cyberpunk feel that you got in like Blade Runner or Akira or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm totally here for it. I'm just really, really loving it. So, nice. I'm not playing Pragmata right now
because you're playing Replaced.
Yeah. Hey, if you have Game Pass, it's on there. I really recommend checking it out. It's it has its moments where it feels like it's sort of a studio's first game, and like Reach's movement is not as fluid as I think you would like or expect if you're looking for like Flashback or Prince of Persia, but it does have that weird sort of delay that those games had and a lot of inputs as well. But it's easy to overcome it. So yeah, I give it a shot, because if you're like me and you dig, again, the sort of the cyberpunk aesthetic, I think you'll really fall in love with it.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's what I spent my week playing and what I will continue to play.
Cool. Well, I guess that means it's time to head to blue skies.
Blue skies. Blue skies. I almost didn't remember to sing that.
You almost didn't. Yeah.
No, I almost missed my cue. Oops.
Whoops. All right, let's do this one from Hackeralius Sparkles24, who says, CJ, I've been flipping through every EGM for the past year since they launched the compendium. Got to issue 62 with Primal Rage on the cover. Surprised to see your name in the bylines. For some reason, I thought you started later. Was that a summer job for you? I was going into senior year that year. Yeah, so my first issue was 61, which was Super Return of the Jedi. And they forgot to put me in the masthead.
It's probably an April Fool's.
No, I think they did the same thing to Phil when he started. They forgot to put him in the first month. So it seems like that happened a lot. So yeah, Super Return of the Jedi was my first issue. Primal Rage is the first one that has my name in there. And yeah, it was basically a summer job. I got the job in like June and then worked there until September or October. Once I started back at school, because I was going into my junior year, I think. Either my junior year or senior year. No, wait. Senior year. I was going into my senior year. So I only was there during the summer, and then I attempted to do this thing where after school my mom would drive me to the office and I would work
so awesome
until like 9 or 10 and then go home. That didn't really work out all that well though. So I quit and then came back later. But it was a hell of a summer job, I'll tell you what. Even though I didn't have a computer, I didn't have a cubicle or anything like that for a long time. When they moved the EGM staff to the other side of the office, my desk was a door that was on top of two filing cabinets.
I remember that story.
And I had the worst hand-me-down Mac that they had in the office. And we used to do all the work on optical drives. So not floppy disks, not even like Jazz drives or zip drives. It was like big honkin' 5 1/4 optical discs. And the problem was that they didn't have enough drives to go around in the office. So you'd have to borrow somebody else's drive to like hook up to your computer and do your freaking work. And well, for a long time there, I only had my own disk, my own optical disc, and that was it. I would just use other people's computers while they were out to lunch or otherwise for a long time. But yeah, I used John Gurka's machine while he was on vacation for a week. So I used his computer for like a week because he had a nice setup and an optical drive that I could use. So yeah. But yeah, it was basically a summer job, and it was a lot of fun, very chaotic, for sure. And Sparkles follows it up with this question. I know people say 98 was a good year for games, but man, 94 was really good too. Super Metroid, Mortal Kombat 2, Donkey Kong 94, Donkey Kong Country, Castlevania Bloodlines, Castlevania Rondo of Blood came out only in Japan, but that was 94, I think. What other years during the 8 and 16-bit era were great?
Oh my God.
I mean, a lot of years were pretty great.
Mean, this is one of the questions that really requires a little bit of prep.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't think of the years, but I mean, but at 94, that makes sense because we were right at the sort of the end of the 16-bit era. So, everything was sort of starting to come together.
Yeah.
And everybody really, really understood the hardware at that point. So, but yeah, I couldn't off the top of my head come up with years. 1990, I think, was a good year, if I remember correctly, because that's when we got Final Fantasy, I think. Yeah, it was that late. It was pretty late.
Final Fantasy for the NES came out in 90?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, damn.
And I think Mega Man 2 was 1990 as well. I think it was.
Late?
It might have been 89.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? Like when you think back about it, it's like, oh, well, those big NES games came out in the 80s, but a lot of stuff came out in the 90s, like the very first couple of years of the 90s. That like a lot of the big games. So like Super Mario 3, that was 1990, wasn't it? Maybe it was 89. But either way, the American release.
1988 in Japan, and then it was released in the US in 1990. Yeah.
Yeah. See? Okay. A lot of that stuff you remember being 80s was actually 1990. So I would say 90 was a pretty big year. If you're talking 8 and 16-bit, because that too, you're seeing the changeover, like the Genesis and TurboGrafx taking off. I mean, the 1990 was their first full year in the US. Yeah. So a lot of the big early, especially on the Genesis, I know way more about the Genesis side than the Turbo side, but their first full years, like that's when we were getting like Phantasy Star 2 and I think Phantasy Star 3 and Castle of Illusion and Super Monaco GP, and that was a big year for the Genesis. All the big pre Sonic games came out that year. So Gyarados and Thunder Force 3 and some big stuff. So I would say 1990 was a big year.
Yeah, and I mean 91 with Sonic.
Yeah. And the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, right, exactly.
So Super Mario World.
The crazy thing to me
is
you think about that time in our lives, like the early 90s, where in the span of like not really that many years, just how much video games changed from being NES to 16-bit era to like, 32, 64-bit, like 3DO, Jaguar, and all the systems that came out and all the games that were coming out at that time. And then you look at the generations now that last,
that's just 8 or more years. So big. The platform shifts were so dramatic.
Yeah.
Back then. And you were also getting into to optical media, right? On game consoles. So
that changed everything as well. And
3D was starting to happen, and
those early games using FMV and
for better or worse.
For better or worse with the acting quality.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, so 90, 91, definitely two big years.
Yeah, and then like the PlayStation Saturn years were great too. Yep. God, almost every year of the 90s, man. And then the Dreamcast in 99, just wow. Just a lot of great stuff.
I mean, 97, Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
Changed everything. And I think 97 was also Tomb Raider, wasn't it? Or maybe that was 96. But yeah, I mean, you could pick any year in the 90s and make a case for it being a huge year.
You certainly could. Yeah, basically. You certainly could.
So
when the PlayStation came out and when Wipeout came out, like
I mean, I think what we've learned here is that the 90s was the best video game decade in history.
I mean, that's kind of undeniable, right? Like,
it's just math.
Yeah. And in terms of our own nostalgia for an era, like, all right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias and our good friend, Mr. Nelson, who says, going through a lot of personal loss right now, and revitalizing the world in Pokopia is actually helping me right now. Do you have games that have helped pull you through a tough patch? First of all, sorry to hear that you're going through a rough patch there, Mr. Nelson. I am glad that Pokopia is getting you through that. Pokopia is a very good game for that. Like it is very healing, because you are healing the world in that game. So yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know your game of the year last year,
Wanderstop.
Yeah,
that
definitely
right there.
one.
Yeah. Absolutely huge one for me. Yeah. Unfortunately, the studio that made that game closed.
Right.
But but it's such a great game and one of my absolute favorites. And if it comes out on another platform, like if they do a Switch 2 edition, I will buy it again to have on Switch 2. But yeah, so Wanderstop is definitely one. You know, in a weird way, Fortnite was that for me in 2022. Like after, so my mom passed in March, and then my brother passed away in May.
Right.
And I needed a game that I could just like zone out and play and explore like a 3D world, maybe do some shooting. And Fortnite became, kind of my healing game during that time. Where, I could just jump into the world, have a bit of fun, not care if I win or lose or any of that. And I had a great time with that. Rock Band is also like, I load up Rock Band if I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. Like, I think for me, I'm sure there are games that fit this description as well, like in the moment. Like, I'm sure if I really had time to sit down and think about it and go back to like, say like after my dad passed away or something like that, or right after my separation, I'm sure there was something that was comforting me. But I do find that I tend to be very nostalgic about games, especially games from the 90s. And so I'm sure a lot of those times I've turned on games that are just like comfort food.
Exactly.
Like Streets of Rage 2, definitely that. Like ActRaiser, I've played the first couple levels of ActRaiser 100 times just because it's like I just need something to take my mind off of whatever life is happening and just chill. And Mega Man 2 is another one because that's pretty much muscle memory at this point. So definitely stuff like that.
Like Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, or 3 for me. Like I could go back to those games and just nostalgia is good for comfort for sure. I play Tetris Effect as well. Like when going back to Tetris, of course, is always good for the brain, but also Tetris Effect with the visual and audio fidelity just has a real healing quality to it. So
exactly.
Pragmata, I mean, everything. All right, let's do this one from not Hacker Alias, listener Jonathan, who says, pick a question or do both. Do you recall the first game that scared you, whether it was a horror game or just an adventure game that was spooky? Do you remember the first time you played Resident Evil? Questions brought to you by it being the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil this year. The first game.
Sure, we already covered this, but I think it's just because the question's been sitting on the outline forever.
Yeah, the question's been sitting on the outline. First game that scared you. I know mine. Super Metroid.
Really?
Yeah, Super Metroid. When
I could see that
at the end when the baby Metroid comes out, that was a jump scare to me. Like I actually jumped out of my seat from that.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was not expecting it. This was a time when we didn't have YouTube or social media spoiling the endings of games. So you get to the point in Super Metroid where the baby, who is now huge, comes out, and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? And at first it's like feeding on you, right? And you're like, shit, I'm gonna be dead here very soon.
That reminds me of, and I don't know, I would say that this is the first time a game scared me, but that reminds me of like playing Metroid for the first time and not really knowing what I was in for.
Yeah.
And my buddy Evan and I playing it and getting to the final stage, which is where you actually start coming across Metroids.
Yeah.
For the first time in the game, and they just attack you and they grab onto you and start draining your health. I don't know that I was scared, but he and I definitely panicked.
Yeah,
because your life bar is just going down like crazy, right? It's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Because you got the sound with that too, the like alarming sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I can't think. I do remember playing Resident Evil for the first time, but to me that was a very negative thing, mostly because I was so all in on the Saturn and definitely irritated that the Saturn wasn't doing as well as the PlayStation because
so you took it out on the game.
So I did not like the first Resident, and I also didn't like. I didn't like the terrible acting. I didn't like the tank controls. Like I did not like the first Resident Evil at all.
I see.
Yeah, just was not a thing for me. I would say but the original question about the first time being scared, I would think that era was probably where it happened, and I would say that maybe the first time would have been. Did you ever play the game Enemy Zero?
Yes.
So for those who hadn't played it, so Enemy Zero was done by Warp, Kenji Ino, the same company that did D and D2. Enemy Zero was partially a full motion video game, but also a first-person explore map, I guess. It wasn't really a shooter.
No.
But the whole hook was that there was a creature free on the ship. It was basically Alien. You're playing Alien, the game, but you couldn't see it. The creature was invisible. You can only track it via sound, and that was freaky as hell.
Yeah,
because it would come up behind you and just scream at you, and you knew you were going to die. And there's like nothing you could do about it at that point. So I remember, I remember really jumping. That might not have been the first time, but it definitely was one of the first times I remember like being legitimately just totally keyed up, like heart rate, raised and palms sweaty and all that stuff. Like Enemy Zero was definitely one of the first times.
That's a good one. Yeah. I think Resident Evil 2 was also one that the demo got me. I think the first time in the demo you run into the liquor for the first time.
Yeah.
And that shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah.
That was a jump scare. For sure.
That would do it.
Yeah. I like games that have jump scares in them.
I keep saying I don't, but I play a lot of them that do, and I keep playing them. So
Resident Evil,
clearly, I like it. Yeah.
Until Dawn is another one of my absolute favorites, and that one is a thrill a minute.
Oh yeah,
not the remake. Dawn. The remake, they messed it up, but the original PS4 game, yes, it's absolutely fantastic. But and I've been watching the trailers for the Halloween game that Gunn and Ilphonic are putting out in September. I'm very excited for that game because it's Halloween. Even just listening to the music from Halloween gets me tensed up. So yeah. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Blue Sky, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You will find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about in these very episodes, alongside a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on youtube.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, etc. Just follow our Blue Sky account to find out when we're doing our next live show, typically every Sunday night. Well, for the next few weeks, be every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So join us, please.
Won't you?
And if you like what you heard, and how could you, you can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Helps keep the lights on, helps pay for the servers. We're developing our own AI to do these shows when one week where CJ or I aren't available. So, we need your money to pay for all the water and the RAM. So,
right.
No, we don't do it for. We don't use it for anything like that. No. It helps us keep the lights on though, and keeps the show running. If you are a subscriber of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain special access to a weekly bonus episode. We record it live after this. We would play games, we crack wise, do all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ,
yeah.
Do we have an after show this week?
We do have a game this week.
Yeah,
Greg, it's going to be an EGM review quiz based on Capcom games that only had one franchise, original IP, one entry. So
one
not
entry.
A franchise. Not a franchise.
Not
Capcom
a franchise.
Games that had one entry.
Okay.
Because of the new IP that they just launched, Pragmata. Don't know if you've heard about it.
Are you predicting that Pragmata will only have one entry?
No.
I feel like that's what you're predicting.
No, I am predicting that Pragmata will indeed continue and have a sequel. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see if I'm right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So please join us for that. And if you have a few bucks left over, you can support me on patreon.com/Greg Seward, where if you are a subscriber of the $3 variety,
also cheap.
It is cheap. You get early access to every new video I put out. I admit it, they aren't very frequent, but hey, you get them early. So that's great. I put a lot of love and effort into them. So please consider supporting the show. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting again this week.
Hey, no problem, Greg. Thank you for coming on the show and making it so that I don't have to talk into a microphone all by myself for 90 minutes, because that would be just the worst.
I think there's lots of people who would enjoy that. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us every week. We truly do appreciate you. And hope to see you all again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.